I'm James Leonard,
I'm Michael Schneider.
and we are doing our presentation on Muslims' relationship with law enforcement.
And not only law enforcement as in police, but as well TSA and some FBI.
Our quote is, understanding is the first step to acceptance, and only with acceptance can there be recovery.
This is a quote by J.K. Rowling, and it kind of sums up our whole presentation because it states that you have to accept a group of people in order to help them. Alright, and the biggest problem between police and Muslims is culture. They've been raised in completely different cultures, so they don't know how to interact with each other. The relationship between American police and the Muslim community has not been good since they were first introduced to each other.
There are many things that make these relationships hard to have trust in each other.
So, like, for example, if a Muslim person calls the police for something, whatever it is, they need help or whatever, and the police goes over to the house and the Muslim's yelling and using his hands to talk and raising his voice, but really he just wants help or something, and the police is going to take that as a threat. So what they're going to do is they're going to be forced to take action, and in doing that they're going to take you to the ground or just detain you and put you in handcuffs to calm you down, even though you're not really not very angry at them, you're just trying to explain, but they don't know that because of the cultural gap.
There are many things that make these relationships hard to have trust in each other.
So just like we just explained, when that happens, you're going to lose a whole bunch of trust, and it's going to be harder for the community, the Muslim community, to interact with the police, and then they're going to eventually stop calling the police.
The biggest problem that arises from this is that the two groups do not understand one another.
So again, this is a cultural thing. They've been raised in completely different culture. Muslims, again, raised in loud houses and using hand motions, always moving around. As American culture, they're more kind of calmer and just stay stationary, all that kind of stuff.
They were both raised in two completely different cultures.
And because of this, they tried to understand the other group, which in the process they lose insight on what they were trying to accomplish. So like when police go to a call, they'll get caught up in trying to understand the other's culture and trying to help them, that they'll lose insight on the actual call, and they'll either get confused about how to help the person or something like that. Alright, trust is a huge thing involved in this that's also bringing down police and Muslim relationship.
The lack of understanding makes it hard for police to do their job.
So again, police usually don't understand these new cultures, so when they are confronted with it, it's very hard for them to take actions.
Also vice versa, Muslims don't know how to comply.
So if a police goes into your house or something because you call them, and they're going to be telling you to do stuff, and the Muslims might not know it at the time, but it's going to be helping them most likely. But at the time when it's happening, they will be confused and they'll start getting offended, like the police aren't doing anything to help them.
When this happens, there becomes a problem. Generally, part of the Muslim culture is talking with your hands and raising your voice with no intentions of violence.
So this happens a lot. This is just part of the culture. They were raised. Their parents actually, when they get mad at them or something, they'll start yelling. But then it's still not a violent thing, and they'll start using hand motions, and that just gets passed down from generation to generation.
Police officers take some of the gestures and volume as a threat because of the American culture.
So just basically, police most commonly deal with the American culture, and that is kind of just, if you're not complying with the police, there's most likely going to be a problem in the American culture. And with Muslims, you cannot comply without intentions of not trying to do anything bad to harm the police or something.
This causes a chain reaction with Muslims.
So what Muslims do is they see that the police is unhappy with the way you're complying, and that's just going to make them more confused and more mad because you're trying to explain your whole situation to them for them to try to help you, and they're not getting any of that because they're concentrating on the culture.
They feel unsafe around police and have the idea that they are going to get in trouble or hurt.
So like we said before, if a Muslim calls the police to their house and they end up getting handcuffed or something just because the police feels threatened by the way they're talking or using their hands or just any actions like that, they're going to stop contacting the police because of that, which causes a horrible reaction. Because within a community, you need trust between the police department and all groups of people, including Muslims. So when they lose that trust, they're going to stop calling the police. It's a horrible reaction.
And something simple like a traffic stop could escalate. And
if you would come over here real quick, we can get you a video.
Are fighting back against allegations of police brutality against a Muslim family there. The department released the 911 call while dozens of people protested at City Hall. News 12 New Jersey's Dawn Pellis has that 911 call. She also got reaction from the Muslim community in the story you saw first here on News 12 New Jersey. That is our top story this half hour.
Outside Patterson City Hall, dozens of demonstrators called for justice for a family they believe was brutally attacked by Patterson police.
We just want to show the rest of the community that Muslims are just as peaceful as they are.
It was the second protest in as many days. The demonstrations prompted by an incident that happened at this home on Dakota Street on Wednesday.
I got blood all over it. They threw me down the stairs, everything. Brought me outside and just started beating me up.
Sayer Hack says police showed up at his home and started a fight with his entire family, whose pictures taken after it was over. Police say they were responding to a 911 call made by a young girl who was reporting a domestic disturbance. A call Hack said never came from his home. Police released it today.
261 Dakota Street in Patterson, second floor. What's the emergency? An older guy is abusing a younger girl, about 12 years old, and he's like about 27 years old. What do you mean by abusing? Abusing. Like what? Physically. Like hitting her? Yes. The guy came downstairs, grabbed her, and started beating the crap out of her like a grown man. Like, I think he broke her nose. I'm not really sure.
Police say when the officers insisted on searching the Hack home, a man inside got violent and attacked them, and the officers were forced to defend themselves. At the protest today, the police chief and the mayor said they are investigating.
And I will assure you that if there was any wrongdoing, that justice will be served.
Some of these protesters came from as far away as Jersey City. They say they'll keep sending their message of unity for as long as it takes to sink in. We're in Patterson. I'm Dawn Pellis, News 12, New Jersey.
So that video was kind of just about how Muslims feel about the police. They feel that the police kind of treat them differently because of their Muslim. And they also feel that the way they are, police don't deal with them a lot, so they also base all of their feelings off of stereotypes, which most likely is going to cause the police to use force. And right here we have a thing about stereotypes. And police have many stereotypes that they hear about Muslims from all over. Just from the general public, from the media, they hear about all of 9/11 and everything about Muslims is pretty much violent, is what they hear.
Because police don't get called out to a lot of calls about Muslims, they base their knowledge on stereotypes, which are mostly negative.
So again, all of the stuff they hear, they don't hear in the news about a peaceful Muslim protest or anything like that. It's just all violent. And media takes every Muslim sound like a violent person. Again, nothing good really comes out of their media's how they portray Muslims. It's all just bad.
This could be very threatening to police when entering a situation that they don't know how to deal with.
So again, if a stereotype comes up about a Muslim person, police are going to go to that call about whatever Muslim, and they're going to change their whole way they approach it, because they're not going to know how to deal with it usually. It's not going to be their normal way of dealing with it because it's from a different culture and a different group of people.
Yazin Mahmoud Hammami. I lived in Jordan for 3 years, and I come from a Muslim family.
What has your experience been like when coming in contact with the police?
It's been a tough one because they don't know how to approach me, and it just makes the whole situation difficult because, I mean, they see me as a threat. They don't treat me like they treat people from around here, and it's just a whole different story. Like, for example, my mom, because she wears a hijab around her head to cover her hair, it just makes them look at her as different, as like, they look down on her. They look down on me too when they come and interview, or not interview, but they come and ask me when they pull me over or something like that.
So you're treated differently, basically?
Basically, yeah.
So So, how do American police differ from police in your home country?
In my home country, we had no authority. We did whatever we wanted. I was driving at the age of like 12 and 13. I was doing whatever I wanted. We did some messed up stuff in Jordan because we didn't have an authority over us, watching us, knowing that we're going to get in trouble. We never had that thought. And when I came here, it kind of changed. For me, it changed. It was a whole new experience because there are consequences. You do get in trouble, and I can't do what I did here. It just doesn't work out.
So there's a much more strict police force here than
there in Jordan. Yeah, in Jordan there was no police whatsoever.
So, do police treat you any different due to stereotypes, do you think?
I feel like they do. I feel like because I'm a minority here, they look down upon me. They don't treat me with they expect the respect that I have to give them, but they don't show the same respect back. And that's kind of hard to deal with, and it just makes the whole situation difficult.
Was it similar in Jordan, or?
No, in Jordan, they don't do anything. They don't pull you over, they don't get you in trouble, nothing.
So, completely different experience. On another note, what encounters have you had with TSA?
Every time I go to the airport, it's a difficult one, because right away they see like my whole family, they see how we look, they see what my mom's wearing, and they automatically pull us to the side and make us like go through. They call it the faster line, but really they just search us. They ask us longer questions. We actually when we board planes, we board them late because of the amount of time it takes them to make sure we're not a threat.
So a lot of prejudgment prior to going through security already.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alright, in that video, that was our friend Yazim, and we talked to him. He says he feels like just dealing with police here is completely different, because in the experiences he's had with the police, he feels like they just kind of target him more than other people. And he even told us this one story about how he was on a plane one time, and there was a lady sitting next to him, and she talked to the flight attendant and asked to move to a different seat, which is, it's just horrible. It's kind of sad, and he feels like just his family shouldn't be around that, so he kind of does not have a good relationship with the police right now. And we came up with a solution to this problem that they're having. It's very simple. It's there are many solutions to come up with a peaceful way to help understand each other.
An annual Muslim and police meeting.
So basically, every year, police or more, if they need it, police and Muslims are going to be meeting in City Hall or wherever's a good meeting spot. And both of them are going to be talking about their concerns. They're going to be discussing their concerns about the past year or what they can do to fix it.
During the meeting, both sides will have the chance to discuss their concerns. Like Muslims can talk about how they act when they are mad and how to distinguish if they are mad or just acting according to their culture.
So basically, here is Muslims are going to teach police how their basic culture is. They're going to talk about how they act during situations when they're happy or when they're having a party or when they're mad, when they're upset, and when they're getting violent. Just all the body languages that they're going to discuss. And as well, police can tell them things that normally threaten them, so Muslims know not to agitate the police on accident. And for example, with this Muslim police, for example, I was on a ride-along, and I was talking to the police, and he said they do not like it when they have your hands crossed or in your pockets because they can't see any visible threats or anything like that. And also, they hate it when you use your hands a lot because they can't concentrate and they can't tell if you're going to go reach your hand around and pull a gun or something like that. So police absolutely hate that. So that's a good chance for them to educate Muslims on that.
All of these will be taken down on notes and discussed at the police academy for the new officers.
So all the new officers are going to learn pretty much what they're talking about at the meeting with the police officials and Muslim officials. so they can just learn it firsthand and not really have to worry about going into a call with a Muslim and not knowing what to do.
Also, Muslims can educate their children on how to interact and comply with law enforcement.
So, like, the Muslim community will be at those meetings, and then they can pass it on to the children and just warn them about all the basic things. And thank you very much. That is our presentation.